everybody. Welcome. Hopefully this is recording nice and smooth. This is my first little video I'm going to try out. So yeah, let me get into it. So some of you may know, this is really, I guess it's considered endgame content, even though my account probably shouldn't even be here, but I am. So real quick, I'll show you what we're going to talk about here. So in the new update, there was the quest that unlocked the Maggot King area, which was a Vampyrium, and a method that I want to talk about today is making GP with redwood logs and getting these converted into seeking dragon arrows. Now this was more profitable when it first came out, but I just did a test run and I went from like a 10 mil bank to 23 mil. Now this isn't, of course, fast process. I was doing a lot of AFK woodcutting and occasionally doing the 3-tick woodcutting process in Vampyrium. So what I want to test out today is, let's see how much progress and how much money we can make in 1 hour of doing this activity. So it's 4:30 p.m. right now, Eastern time, and we're going to click the timer, and this is going to include us kind of, just see, I'll show you guys. We'll get ready to get to Vampyrium. So we'll need a Draken's Medallion, and I'll equip this. My farming cape I want to wear, so I can have a full, because the reason we want to do this is you'll see you're going to want a full inventory of buckets, and we'll be using a process at the trees to fill those up with blood. From there, once we have all the blood filled up, we do combine redwood with the blood to create sap-treated redwood logs. The sap-treated logs can then be cut into seeking arrow shafts. The seeking arrow shafts get combined with the feathers to create seeking headless arrows. And then from here, we can then take the seeking headless arrows and either combine them with already made, fully made dragon arrows. This will give you no experience, but it's a faster process and makes more money. Or if you have dragon arrow tips, you can make that combination. Either way, both of these combined will get you to the seeking dragon arrow. Now I guess it is kind of hard for me to show this option because I'm at my GE limit for both, because I just tried this out. So you'll see here, these are the last items that I sold. But dragon arrow tips, so if I show you here on this, see dragon arrow tips, we have 0, so we have an hour before we can buy anything. And then see dragon arrows, also an hour before we can buy anything. So I should probably wait on this, but I kind of want to do this now. So what we'll do is we'll pause the timer once we get to a point of creating everything that we need to, up until we need to combine these seeking headless arrows with the dragon arrow tips and the dragon arrows. So we'll pause the timer there. Once my timer is up from the GE, I'll put the timer back on, we'll buy the items, and then we'll do the final combination to create these, sell them on the GE, and then hopefully stop the timer and see where that puts us within 1 hour of doing this activity. So I guess you could say we could do another way to do this is you can do just straight up 1 hour of just cutting the logs and see how much sap you can get then. So, but again, that's a longer than an hour GP per hour, so I just want to see yeah, let's see how fast we can get one inventory, and then we'll play it from there and see if it makes sense. Can we get 2 inventories, 3 inventories, see what that gets us to. Yeah, alrighty, so let's do it. I'll get my axe out and we'll get the timer going. So I hope you guys enjoy, and hopefully this method I show you guys is something that's viable to make some GP. Cool, so let's do our teleport. We're going to add the timer. We're going to start it now. Alright, so we're going to teleport to Castle Draken. And again, our timer's going now. Alright, this is Vampyrium. So for those of you who have not done this quest yet, It's gonna take some time to get there, realistically. This is an endgame, pretty much the last quest to the vampire storyline. So Sins of the Father is a very tough quest when you're mid-game. So getting this quest is going to be a little difficult, but I'm telling you, if you're at that point where you're trying the quest, and the last boss may seem tough, but what you'll come to find out is that a lot of the potions they give you there are very lenient, and they don't reduce your stats as much, so you can pretty much bring a full inventory of that, and you'll be good to go. And I think I beat that boss on my like 15th try. Alright, so you'll see here we started with grabbing some buckets, and now we are going to start collecting the sap. So the way this works is you double tap on your character to pull the axe back, and then you click on the tree, and what we're going to do is we're going to fill this bar up, and the tree is going to start... Oh, I did something there. The tree is going to start bleeding, and the blood is going to start filling up into the bucket. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to kind of work on all three of these trees simultaneously in a way where we just keep rotating between each tree until we are able to get a full inventory. Honestly, I'm kind of curious what this is actually going to take for us to do. An hour is not a lot of time. I feel like an hour might make sense for just one inventory. But let's see. This is the fast method. So you can see I'll keep chopping this one, and now the other tree is getting a little low. It's fine if I don't click it right away. I want to kind of get a couple of trees going at the same time, so I'll get it to about a quarter, a third of the way, and then I'll come back to this tree. Alright, so just keep chugging through this. I'm sure there's a more efficient way to do this, but I've noticed every time I try to double click before my character, his animation comes back from hitting the tree, I tend to slow up on the yellow progress bar. Alright, so we got that one bleeding. We're going to hit this one time to keep it bleeding, and we'll go to the third tree. Now this one, I'm just going to keep cutting until both the bars on the other side go down. Then we'll tap them both once and come back to this tree. See how I did it slow? I messed up my click there, and kind of just wasted maybe a swing or two that I could have gotten otherwise. Alright, so after this, we'll hit both of these trees once. On the XP drop at the top, you can just kind of move over and keep it going. Didn't even notice the bars went down. You can see the bar filled up, and we collected our first bucket. And the minute you fill it up, the minute you pick up a bucket, your character will place another one on for the next round. So you can see we have both of these going, and now I'm back to this tree. And you kind of just repeat this process over and over. Now this could be tedious, so what you'll see is there's actually people standing a little north of here. And they are on the AFK method. So what I usually do is, the way I've been collecting is I've been on the AFK method for the most part, and then whenever I need to like fill up the rest of my inventory and I'm more active playing the game, then I come back to this method. So anyway, I'm going to keep clicking through this. We'll see what the timer gets us to. Obviously for you guys, you'll be seeing this sped up a little bit. I guess something cool to check out too while you're doing this is actually a decent woodcutting experience as well. So it's not just so here we go. I'm gonna reset the XP per hour, and then let's see what we get on that collection down here. Now when I first found out about this method, I was like, wow, I could already tell this can make a lot of money. especially when the Seeker Arrow is first released. Unfortunately, I wasn't as prepared as I should have been. My fletching level was nowhere where it needed to be to even make dragon arrows to attempt this process. So honestly, earlier today was the first time I was able to. I reached 86 fletching, and that was what allowed me to do this process with a little bit of help of the. I forgot the name of the pies. I think botanical pies, but I'll double check on those. That might be wrong. That might be for herblore. But there's a pie you can buy that gives you a temporary boost in fletching, and it gives you 4 levels. Now I'm hoping in the future this is still a viable, like, decent money maker. What really tanked the price of this was the addition of that AFK tree, because no one wanted to do this double clicking method, and I agree it is kind of sweaty. But you know, I feel like if you're paying attention, it's not the end of the world. Like 2 clicks and a click, it's fine, right? The reason I wanted to try this out was I figured if someone was like, hey, I need a quick couple million to do a different activity, this is something you can take a quick hour break from whatever you're doing, come over here, grab some Bloodwood Sap buckets, and you know, do a quick little hour grind. It was the idea. So I feel like to make 2 million an hour is pretty nice for, you know, not having to worry about doing PVM activities. And even better, you know, if you're at work and you just want to AFK like these guys, I mean, it seems like that's kind of why the price is where it's at now. But it's gonna take longer than an hour, right? So to each their own. But we could also consider it, instead of a timer, we can say by inventory. That's kind of how I was tracking it, saying, hey, you know, 28 buckets in an inventory. How are we gonna make this happen? This, grab this bucket, keep it going. Uh-oh, the game wants to log me out. It's gonna log me out in 10 minutes, so I might have to do a quick little log and relog. So I'm gonna do that right here. We're gonna click exit. Alrighty, picking this video back up where I left off. So really fast, and timer we left off was at 46:43, and we're gonna click add timer and continue. And the time looks like you're about was at 10, 11 minutes. Well, the timer says timer at the top now, but before I just forgot to rename it the second time, but it is still same for the Bloodwood Sap money-making method. And again, this is on July 21st. So this is right after that update where they added in this engorge bloodwood tree, which is the AFK method. So yeah, I'm still going with the traditional method. I think it's faster to fill up your inventory, and for the purpose of this video, I would like to kind of do a 2-for-1, maybe show profit per hour versus profit per hour versus I would say is equivalent to how much profit you would make per inventory. So whether you do the AFK method or you want to, just make it go faster, this is going to be the profit you would get per inventory of 28 Bloodwood Saps. Alright, we're approaching 20 minutes in, and we are at, what is that, 12, 16 buckets out of, so we need 12 more buckets to go. More to go, not so bad. That's pretty good timing. So we should be a little about 20 to 25 minutes left to kind of travel back to the GE, combine a few of the items, do some fletching, and yeah, but I'll run you guys through that once we get to the GE. See what the XP per hour is. Okay, so after actually doing this for about 25 minutes, it's averaging about 110k per hour, so pretty good method. Yeah, if you guys have recommendations on how to do this double-click tap to the tree better, please let me know. Maybe my timing's a little off, but I'm sure some people are getting better experience rates. But again, I'm probably an average RuneScape player, so whatever we get here should be transferable to many people. See, we're at the 25-minute mark now, and we're close to done with the inventory, so we're looking pretty good here. Couple more buckets here to go. So yeah, we need 7 more buckets to go through. Alright, so we're approaching the last couple rounds here before we have a full inventory of Bloodwood Saps. So let me hit this tree real fast. We'll get this one fully going. So you'll see, so once we leave here, I'm gonna use the whatever method you need to get back to the GE, you do that. For me, I use my farm cape as my main source of teleportation in the game for the most part, and the quest cape obviously because I can use the fairy rings, since I have I think it's the Lumbee Elite Diary done. But yeah, I usually teleport to the farming guild. Then I have the spirit tree there that gets me where I need to. Spirit tree also gets me back to my POH, and then from there I can teleport where I need to, so it's pretty convenient. If not, if you're an Iron Man, I'm sure you have your own house that you're using. If not, highly recommend unlocking things in your POH. But yeah, if you're a main account, obviously you can go to like World 300, World 301, 330. There's usually houses that you can just use at Remington for whatever you need to get, wherever you need to get to. Alright, these are the last three. Last three trees, last three buckets. Actually, we're making real good timing. We're about to hit 30 minutes into the process. So it looks like a little over a half hour to collect the full inventory. So if you can keep up with a half hour of clicking intensely like this, then this is the method for you. Otherwise, like I said, you can just sit with these guys over here at the AFK tree and slowly get your buckets like that. Alright, so here we are, just waiting for the last two trees to bleed out, and then we'll be making our way over to the GE to get this process started. So let's grab our last bucket here. This one needs to bleed out like 2 more times, and then we're at a full Invy. Not bad, timer's at 28 minutes remaining, so that gives us a half hour to Fletch whatever we can get from these 28 buckets. So 28 buckets on each red log is 105 each, so we'll see. So let's do the math on that real fast. So 28 buckets times 105, so we're looking at a little less than 3,000 arrows made. So hopefully we get some good profit on this. So right now, if I look on the GE and I use the prices.runescape website, Seeking Dragon Arrow is selling for about 2,600. The arrow tips are about 2,000, and then the arrows by themselves are about 1,900. So we can look to see about a $600 profit, 600 to 700 profit. So about 1.7 to 2 mil is what we'll be seeing. Alright, so let's teleport out. Get this to the G. To the G we go. Alright, so we're at, with all that, about 27 minutes left to do some crafting, and we'll show you everything we have here. So click all. There you go. So now we'll just do quick combining. And what's great is you only need 90 fletching when you actually cut the logs, and if you're only making it with the arrow tips. If you use dragon arrows, the only time you need to fletch is when you make this cutting action here. This part is the level 90, and then this here is level 90. Everything else does not leave at level 90. So with that, we'll start off with let's do an inventory, 1414. Let's go. So 2 inventories of this. And then quickly just looking at the dragon arrow tips. I still have 30 minutes before I can buy any. So again, we're going to pause the video when we get to that step. So we deposit these, and then we do our last 14. Okay, so that's the first step. Second step now is we're going to use a knife, and we're going to cut all 28 of these, all 28 of these. So we'll do half at a time, and we'll bring our pie with us, and then we'll just do this. So we'll eat, and then we'll click Fletch, and it's just going to start cutting them 105 each. And it's nice we get some experience for that. So you can see we used a knife on these sap treated redwoods, and we're getting Seeking arrow shafts. Now from here we're gonna attach feathers to this, but again we gotta cut the rest of the items here. So hopefully that one pie was enough, but I'll grab another pie anyway just in case. Grab the rest of these, I'll grab one pie just in case, and then we'll just continue cutting until it doesn't let us. The reason I have to use that pie again is I'm 86 fletching, so I need the boost to get me to 90. But if you have 90, you don't gotta even have to worry about this step. Oh, see, so it's gonna stop me right now. Yeah, it stopped me, so I'm gonna drink and continue cutting. And by drink, I mean eat the dragon fruit pie. I know earlier I said different pie, but that was for herblore. Botanical. Okay, so we have all our arrow shafts now, so that step's done. Now, these are going to combine with the feathers. This part does not need anything, so we're going to click 2940. Put this back away, and now we're making our seeking headless arrows. So we're going to use these on there, and we're going to just start flushing them. This process, look, you can see, well, I'm level 90 now, but once you see this, you're going to see this boosty here drop down to 89, and it's still going to let me fletch these. The reason being is it's just a lower level to fletch arrow shafts. The only difference is the reason why we need a 90 for the redwood is the redwood itself is level 90. But it just all it does is make 105 of the same item. You know, a lower tier logs will just create less of the same item. So it's not like it's its own special item. It's the same item, just a higher quantity. So I mean, theoretically, where I mess up because I did not know this was a thing, you don't even need level 90 to do any of this, because you don't even have to use the dragon arrow tips. You can just use pre-made dragon arrows. So I could have bought dragon arrows off the GE. Everything could have been bought off the GE, and the only thing you need to collect really is the sap. Is the Bloodwood Sap. A little disappointing because I could have been making 5,000 minus 2,000, 3,000 GP per arrow could have been made before that AFK method came out. So again, look, the fletching's not taking that long, and we still have 22 minutes to go. Now what I'd like to do is, if we don't get to the full 20-minute timer when we sell everything, I think I want to consider this. We can do like a little bit of math to figure out, okay, we made one, you know, this is what we made per inventory, but the inventory with selling, let's say, doesn't take the full 60 minutes. We can, you know, extrapolate that and say, okay, you know, if you're doing this for multiple hours, those, you know, let's say you save 5 minutes each hour over 6 hours, you know, you save yourself, sorry, over 12 hours, you save yourself another hour, right? So you gain some of that time back if you didn't use the full hour. But I'll explain that once we get to that point. So again, after this step, seeking headless arrows, this is where you can attach dragon arrows or dragon arrow tips. So, actually I think I already have some headless arrows in the bank. Yeah, so I have some in the bank, but we'll keep a count of how much is in my inventory and where the timer is. And then once my GE timer limit goes up, I'll re-pick up the timer with that and with the count that I have, and we'll see what profit we get on top of all that. Alright, so here we are. I'm going to pause the timer at 1918 will be the pause of the timer. 1918. So we're going to remove this, and we're going to change this to 1918. And we're going to name this what we had it named earlier, which was the Bloodwood Sap Moneymaker. Final step. Alright, we're back. So, as you can see now on my screen, we have dragon arrow tips are now available. 10,000 is the new updated limit from the GE. And for the Dragon Arrows, we have about 3 minutes until we can buy up to 11,000. So picking up where we left off, we had timer. We had 2,940 of these seeking headless arrows. So let's go withdraw that 2,940. And thinking about it a little bit, I know I did an average before. I wanted to show you just one or the other, but I think I'll do a little bit of both. So let's split this number in half. So 2,940 divided by 2 is 1470. So we're going to buy 1470 Dragon Arrow tips, and we're going to do 1470 of the Dragon Arrows. So as I mentioned, we have 19 minutes and 18 seconds remaining to, because we're trying to show you guys this all in 1 hour. So we have about 19 minutes left to buy both 1470 of each of these from the GE, combine them with the arrows, and then sell the seeking arrows on the GE. And then from there, we'll pause the timer, see how much time is left, and then we'll give an estimate of what that profit actually looks like it comes out to be. So we're gonna search Dragon Arrow tips. Oh, sorry. Can't get ahead of myself. This is where I'm gonna play. I gotta click play again. So let's do this, and we're gonna click add timer. All right. So now that we continue, we have our Dragon Arrow tips, and as I mentioned, we're gonna go half of that stack, so that's 1470 total. We're gonna be looking for 1470. And then real quick, I'm gonna use the website. You guys can't see it right now, but it's prices.runescape.wiki, and Dragon Arrow tips are buying instantly for 2,100 right now. So we're gonna do that for 2,100 flat, and we're just gonna buy 1470 of these for 3 mil. Cool. And then, like I mentioned, we have the Dragon Arrows. 44 seconds for availability. So we're going to just search them anyway. Dragon Arrows. Actually, we'll go to history for Dragon Arrows. Here we go. Using old price. An arrow. And we're going to change this to 1470. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to check the wiki. And the price right now for the Dragon Arrows is 1928. So we're going to update that to 1928. And we're going to click purchase. Perfect. So we have the Dragon Arrow tips are coming in now. And then the Dragon Arrows, as it shows here, 4 seconds before I can start buying. So you're going to see what right when this goes up. Right, our 11,000 limit. So now this is viable to start buying stuff again. So we're just going to wait these out so they can start buying. Total we spent was 5.928 million. And now we're going to do some combination of items here to complete this. So we're going to use, so you're going to see when I do Dragon Arrows to this, it's automatic. Oh. Use this on this. And I can click all. And you don't even need to have level 90 fletching, and it just starts making them. So again, faster process with the Dragon Arrow combination. And you're going to see it's a little slower with Dragon Arrow tips because we have to actually fletch them. But we do get a bunch of fletching experience. So to do that, we're going to go in the bank. And we're going to grab a couple of Dragon Pies. So I'm going to grab I'll grab like 3 of these for now just so we have it. And we're going to eat and combined. And this does 150 at a time, right? So yeah, 10 ways of processing these arrows before we're able to sell these on the GE. So again, we're making great timing. 15 minutes left on the timer. So we're about 45 minutes in, and we're very close to being done with this. So I would say this is probably like a 50-minute process to do one full inventory, based on where we're at right now. So again, see I still have level 90 fletching, so I don't need to add another boost yet. Once I see that boost timer switch on me, I'm going to have to take another eat of the pie. This is actually real good XP. We're getting 225. And I was getting almost like 100 and something thousand experience earlier when I was trying this out. See, so I went down. We're going to have to eat and then continue fletching. Look at my first set per hour. You're going to see how fast this goes up. 225 per game tick here. So keep combining. Alright, so this should get us through the stack. Alright, perfect. So we're 13 minutes left and we should be able to start selling these arrows. So I'm going to drop the pie dishes, put this away, and now we have 1940 that we can sell in the GE. So we're going to sell these guys, and then we're going to look at the GE pricing right now, and they're going for about 2583. Looking at the board more, I know I sold some earlier. Let's see what my history was on selling. So we sold them at 275 each, 2,571. So let's see, we're just gonna do, if we do 2583, which is the buy price, let's try that. So 2583 would get us 7444 mil back. So honestly, that's about 744 to 6. That's about 1.6 mil profit. I think we could sell for a little bit more though. We're gonna do 2599 and see if we can get this for a little bit more. Cool. So I think since we're done there, I'm gonna pause the timer again at 11:25. So we're gonna pause it at 11:25. Alright, so I pause the timer at 11:25 because at this point the method is complete. You technically can now, what I usually do is once I sell, or I have things waiting on the GE and they're not selling right away, I'll just grab my stuff, I'll teleport right back to Draken's, and we'll just continue the process again. And look at that, as we spoke, it's already starting to sell. So if we sell this whole stack, we're looking at 7491.20. So I want to see what the math is on that. So if we look at, I have my calculator. You guys probably don't see it. I have to figure out how to show Excel in the background. But we're looking at 7491,120 back. What we spent in Dragon Arrows and Dragon Arrow tips was 5928630, and the difference between these would be the profit that we got. So this minus this. So we got 1.56 mil. So a little less than I was projecting earlier. But again, this is, if we pause the timer right now, 50 minutes, right? So that's, alright, perfect. So I did some math on this. So if we finished and everything's it's starting to sell right now. So since I'm going to consider this, we're done at 50 minutes of this process. So you can get one full inventory of this done in about 50 minutes. You know, if we do a quick little math on that, that's about 1.56 mil profit for inventory, which is about $31,000 profit a minute. If we multiply the $31,000 profit per minute over 60 minutes, which is an hour, we're looking at $1,875,000, 1,000 GP. So look, collect, and that process is done. And we're gonna put this in the bank, pause it all, and you can see we're at 25,295. And remember at the start of the video, I think we were around 23 and some change. So we did make the 1 point something profit, but yeah. So you're looking at one inventory for about 1.5 mil, and if you're consistently doing this for a couple hours, you're gonna be averaging about 1.8 mil per hour. So hope you guys enjoyed this this money-making process. Thank you guys, and subscribe to the video. Let me know if there's any other videos you guys like to see, any other tutorials, especially if there's anything for lower level accounts that might need help. I'm still in the process of learning things too, but I was able to do the Maggot King at least with lower level gear, so maybe I'll show a little video on that with mid-game gear on the Maggot King if anyone's having trouble with that. So cool. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Talk soon.